Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is an episode of The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 15, Episode 1, the so-called reboot. Maybe it could be considered reboot Season 2, Episode 1, because last year we were introduced to these ladies. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Now, these ladies have a new what we call newbie into the group. Her name is Raquel, and she has a wife named Mel. I've been waiting on the lesbians to come on to this show. Child, I've been waiting. Like, I know they're out there. And I know Bravo is all up in folks' business. I've been waiting. Now, actually, Miami did have a lesbian couple. Don't get me wrong. But bring them out. I mean, what is we waiting on? We need some more diversity. We need some more ethnicities. We need more representation of this so-called melting pot we call America. Now, Raquel and her wife, Mel, they met when, back in the day, apparently Raquel was married. She has 2 children that she co-parents with her ex-husband. And, her lesbianness is the reason why she's no longer married. Folks just realize who they is when they realize it. And so they make their lives appropriate to what they didn't realize, and good for her. And everybody's happy. We're going to get with her in a little bit. So the same chicks are back. We got the married folks. Let's talk about them. Jessel and her husband, Pavi. Then we got Erin, her husband, Abe. Sai and her husband, I forget his name. Was he in the episode? I don't even think I saw him in this episode, child. I don't even remember seeing him in episode 1. And then the single folks. Well, actually kind of single. Jenna got a new girlfriend, not the one from last season. Look, Jenna's pimping. No, but for real. Jenna got a new woman. I forget her name, but her mom was in the episode helping her throw away shoes, child. She got a whole closet full of $1 billion shoes. Okay. And Brynn, she's still single. Who else? And Ubah, the model who is kin cousins to Ayan from Real Housewives of Dubai. So first we start off with Brynn. Now, they had some contention last season. Folks was mad. You know how it always is. Production gets them all riled up. They make sure to poke fun and get on folks' nerves because they know they have a show to make. They know they got to do 15 more seasons. And so, the mess is going to roll. But apparently, Sai and Brynn never made up. And, folks want to talk about folks and tell folks what folks said. The loyalty ain't there. We got a show to make. So Brynn, she's getting some new furniture because she moved. She got a bigger place. She's happier now that she's getting paid a little more. She's doing her own job and also got a job with Bravo. So of course you're gonna move up in life. What else is there to do? But moving in and out in NYC is treacherous. Ain't no room to do nothing. The staircase is narrow. You got to almost haul stuff in through the window. I mean, it's just, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they live on top of each other like that. I need space, child. I can't be no close to I can't knock on my neighbor's window and asking for toilet paper. That's just something Ray can't do. I need to walk a good minute before I get to your yard, especially your front door. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear what you got going on. I don't want to smell what you got going on over there. I like space. That's how I was raised. I'm sorry and not sorry at the same time. So yeah, and then she finds that her brother Darius is coming to stay with her for about a month. He's visiting, and she got a little fur baby dog. Good for her. Jessel, the spoiled brat of the group, other than Brynn, the more grown spoiled brat of the group. Pavi is taking her out for dinner to a Vietnamese restaurant, but he didn't tell her that they were taking the subway and that they were going to Chinatown. She got on these pinpoint boots, heels to the gods, and I don't know how she walking them things. Ain't no way. I know her feet hurt. And if they don't, she better not break that heel. That heel is tiny, child. But Jessel looks great. I mean, skin flawless, beauty. She's a natural beauty. She really is. And so she's really not really enjoying the date, but she's doing it for her husband, of course. You know, you compromise with your mate. And it's not that bad, but she would rather be elsewhere. She was like, do we have to take the subway? And so what's funny is production in her confessional asked her, well, the subway is about $5.80 for two people. How much are your Uber rides? And she picked up her phone and checked her receipt book. And child, why did she say almost $1,000 she done spent on Uber? She was like, oh, I probably could use that money. You think? Girl, I mean, I'm pretty sure she has Uber Black because I know she ain't just getting in anybody's vehicle. Woo, child, the money folks spend, but if she got it, you know, it ain't what did Lil Wayne say? It ain't tricking if you got it. Looking at my notes, child, making sure I got my notes. What else did she say was going on? Yeah, she's too bougie for Chinatown, and I'm with her. I don't want to be down there. Pigeons all over. They eating outside. See, first thing, I can't eat outside. Now, maybe if it's covered and it's like a tent situation where nothing can fly in, maybe I can do that. But I just can't be eating all willy-nilly outside and pigeons is on top of us, you know, walking on the ledge. No, thank you. That's just not me, just to be eating any old kind of thing from any old kind of place, just anywhere. I mean, but her husband does like going to Thailand and all the Asian countries and whatnot. I mean, he has I don't want to say fetish, but he has an affinity for Asian culture. Good for him. Because I believe they're, what are they? Are they Indian? Child, don't give me the line. They're not Asian. Anywho, I'm glad that they're going out, enjoying each other. And because, you know, last year they were having a problem getting with each other. You know what I'm saying? They had twins and couldn't find the time to get with each other. I don't know about you, but it's always time to get with each other. We got to slow this down because for us not to be getting with each other, but anyway, we're not talking about me, we're talking about them. But yeah, good for Jessel and her husband Pavi. Next, we got a little meeting in the ladies' room, meeting for lunch between Ubah, Erin, and their homegirl Rebecca Minkoff. Does her name sound familiar? She is related to Rob Minkoff, who is the husband to the ex-housewife of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yes, that is correct. Crystal will not be returning to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And yes, Rebecca Minkoff is this fashion designer. I don't know. I have not seen her clothes. Apparently they cost too much for me because, child, I have no clue who this woman is. But apparently she is big on the East Coast, or big, period. Big ups to Rebecca Minkoff. and they meeting for lunch. And of course, they start to gossiping, and they're talking about Brynn's complexity with delivering information. According to Erin, Ubah and Rebecca's just listening, and they're talking about the party that's going to be jumping off, and they're just making sure Rebecca is in. I think Rebecca is a friend of the show because we see Rebecca quite often. I have to refresh my Bravo memory on how Rebecca is associated. Is she just there, or is she actually a bona fide friend to the show? But we don't know anything more about Rebecca. She doesn't have any confessionals. So that's why I'm like, Anywho. So yeah, they talking about Brynn and how they be gossiping and how different the stories always seem to happen once the girls get into their own conversations with each other. No matter who they're talking to, the story comes back to where somebody is mad at somebody. Again, they need a show. Especially Brynn. Brynn is going to make ish happen. Okay? Now, what's next on my notes, child? Brynn. Speaking of Brynn. So, again, she invites Jenna and Jessel with the pretty skin to furniture shop because she is, trying to find a dining room table for her new abode. Now, she doesn't trust Jessel's taste, but she appreciates Jessel's honesty. What? Child, if you just need somebody there to film, that's fine. Just say that because that don't even make sense, Brynn. Anywho, does it make sense to you? If it do, let me know in the comments because it don't make sense to me. So yeah, they're talking, and of course the gossip starts to happen, and Brynn lets folks know that, especially Jenna, that Erin complained about Jenna being broke, and we all know Jenna ain't broke, and how Jenna owes Brynn money for an Uber because her classic vehicle died, and it just came out from Brynn that Erin is going around saying that Jenna is broke and that she owes her money. Now, Erin does admit that Jenna owes her money for the Uber. I think it was like $250. But Erin, you got millions. But I understand it's the principalities of it all. I get it. I want my money. I don't care if it's $2. If you say you're going to give it to me, I'm expecting you to give it to me. Oh, Lord, Brynn is always in some mess, child. Ooh, this brat. But yeah, so they just going back and forth about how Erin is bad talking Jenna. And, it's just kind of trifling. But then Brynn goes in on Erin because not goes in on Erin, but she's talking with Jenna and Jessel about going in on Erin about being on Jeff Lewis's podcast when Jeff Lewis inferred that Brynn gets money from men to pay her bills, the classic whore. And so Brynn didn't like how it sounded, but they're like, that didn't really sound right. At the same time, we see, what's her name? Erin and them talking, and they kind of going back and forth. And they flash back Erin on the podcast, and Erin absolutely did not agree with Jeff Lewis when he inferred that Brynn is a whore. So, Brynn, you acting a little bit like Brooks over there from Real Housewives of Dubai, hearing what you want to hear to make a storyline. Girl, bye. What's next? Sai and Jessel. Here we go. Didn't I just talk about this on Selling Sunset? Oh, if you didn't know, I am reviewing Selling Sunset. Season 8 is out now on Netflix. I'm reviewing it with my homegirl, Psychic ELB. Her name was Erin, too. Okay, so Sai and Jessel do the freeze ice bath, the same thing that Bree and Chriselle was doing on Selling Sunset the other day. If we see one more, either they steam in the cooch or they freeze in the cooch. I mean, these things, these these reality stars are doing, they have to be a lot more original. They really do, because every time one group do it, another group, and we kind of seeing the same old stuff. Just be opulent. We want to see stuff we don't normally see. Something that'll, give us something to really, smile about. Ain't nobody trying to look at you in an ice bath, but Sai was looking mighty cute in her houndstooth bathing suit. Yes, for the houndstooth. Yes, Sai. Yes. Two fingers up. But yeah, Sai and Jessel in a freezing cold in the ice bath, and Sai reveals to Jessel that she's in therapy. She realized last seeing herself on TV did not resonate well with her, and so she's willing to make a change. And so she started therapy, real therapy, and she's discovered some things about herself that she is willing to change, which is great. Sometimes we just need to see ourselves, and if we're open minded, if we have that type of mind, then we can change those things that need to be changed. And I get it. She's working on her anger. My thing is, she should work on her perception as well. She didn't say nothing about her perception. She was talking about more so her anger and how to deal with things when things upset her. Mm-hmm. Again, sometimes you got to hone in just a little deeper. Maybe she hasn't got there yet. I'm just saying. I'm not a therapist. I don't think I'm wrong about this. I'm just saying maybe she should hone in a little more with the anger and the perception. The underlying reason why you mad. All righty. And she went in to say how she heard about Brynn telling folks plus Jenna that Sai hates Jenna. Sai was like, I don't hate her. I just don't like her. And there are reasons why. And I never said the word hate, but Jess was like, well, that's what we heard. No. So Brynn got some with Erin. Now Brynn got some with Sai. And both Sai and Erin got some with Brynn. Child, again, Brynn is at the middle of everything wrong on this show. But I'm not saying she's not good for the show, but she's the brat. So here we are introduced to Raquel. We are at Jenna's place in her closet. She has not her mother-in-law, but her girlfriend's mother is visiting. And she's just, there helping her sort out which shoes to get rid of. And her homegirl Raquel comes through. And this is a real cute story. Both of them met each other when they were coming out of their respective marriages due to them coming out as lesbian. Ain't that nothing? So now they weren't together. They just happened to know each other and was experiencing the same revelations or coming out at the same time. Ain't that nothing? And they both have children. They're both co-parenting with their respective ex-husbands. Ain't that nothing? So Raquel and her fiance, actually, not her wife, her fiance Mel, they both love motorcycles and they love rough riding. I know that's right. Hey. So then again, we got Erin and her family eating. Now this part is a trip. Erin and her husband Abe taking the kids out for ice cream, and they have little food items on the menu, right? Cute little place. You see a whole bunch of families enjoying themselves. So they end up, just talking about things, and Abe was giving her advice on, who to hang out with in the group. Okay, we can, you ain't got to worry about this, and I know you got this, and whatever. Giving her all kind of pub and whatnot. Then he mentions their extracurricular activities of shrooms. And she can't believe he brought that up on camera. Even in the confessional, she is so hesitant to even discuss the fact that they are into shrooms. Of course, you don't want people to know your, certain proclivities that you don't particularly tell folks that you do. And Abe should have recognized that, because if that's not something they do with other people, and it's obvious that they don't, I think he just slipped up. So he got offended that Erin called him dumb for bringing it up. and not wanting to elaborate on the shrooms comment that he made about them doing shrooms, he got up and left and went to go find the kids because they went off to go play somewhere. And I don't blame her, because are you dumb? Like, what is wrong with you? So, like I said, even in the confessional, she didn't even want to talk about a child. I don't blame her, because, you know, there are special, certain elitist type of folk. And listen, just like we find out about what Sean Combs is doing and other folks is doing behind closed doors, again, something else folks in high society is doing behind closed doors that they don't want nobody else to know. And he messed up. So now everybody know that they do shrooms and yada, yada, yada. Child, wait till the reunion. Woo, child, if they talk about it, huh? Woo, child. Anywho, so Brynn's party. Brynn is hosting a party. Her brother is there and just getting to know everybody and hanging out. And of course, the friends come, all of the housewives, their respective partners. But again, I didn't see Sai's husband. If y'all saw the episode, let me know. But I really don't recall seeing her husband there. So they were, having a good time. And of course, they want to confront folks and talk about things. Sai sets it off. She was talking to, telling Jenna that I did not say I hated you, that I never said that. And she told Jenna the issues that she had with her. But as she got to know her, she feels bad because that's definitely not how she sees her now. And, that happens. It's just that Sai voiced some things she probably should have kept under her cap. And, and so now she thoroughly apologized to Jenna. Jenna really is not taking all this so seriously, where she's not acting like she is. Jenna's really laid back. She's like, okay, girl, it's all good. It's all good, boo-boo. So Sai apologizes and then gets in Brynn's behind about it. And then Brynn was like, that is exactly what you said. So I was like, no, it wasn't. You're a liar. You just want to, try and ruin relationships because they're not like the relationships that you have. And you're just jealous, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And, Sai went off. Next, it was Erin and Brynn's turn. So Erin again against Jenna. It seems to be Jenna is the center of all this. Brynn's trying to make Jenna, or trying to get Jenna to see that these people are not her friends. Anywho, so Erin is talking with Jenna about the lie that Erin said Brynn told. She's like, I did not say that you were poor. Obviously, you're not. I know that. So I would never say that. But the way Brynn delivered the information, delivered the conversation, was totally wrong. And yeah, you do owe me the money for the Uber. However, I never said anything negative about you, and Brynn is blowing this all out of proportion. And Brynn was like, and what about what you said on the Jeff Lewis podcast that I am whoring around in New York City? And I was like, I never said that. And people were like, no, she never said that. So I was like, no, she never said that. Everybody heard differently from Brynn. It's just that Brynn heard. See, again, Brynn interprets things differently from what was said. Just like last year, she interprets things how she thinks she's heard it, and creates chaos. And that's a dangerous person to be, especially this girl is it has a communications job with how people and like some type of communications and marketing. And that's a bad combination if she's delivering information incorrectly, unless she's prone to do that at work. Like production is on most of these or all of these reality shows, how they narrate things, cut and paste and narrate so that we can have an opinion about people instead of giving us all the information and letting us decide for ourselves. Yeah, that sounds a lot like Brynn. she's cutting and pasting and delivering the information how she wants it to be delivered. Because again, production played back the Jeff Lewis podcast tape, and Erin did not agree. She wholeheartedly disagreed with Jeff Lewis, so Brynn was wrong. So pretty much Sai cussed her out. Erin told her to go somewhere and she's sick of her. And Brynn got upset, cried, took her brother, and left her own party. Ain't that nothing? Now, Jessel offered, the funny thing is, Jess was like, well, it may not be so bad to be someone's concubine, because recently I was offered to be a millionaire's concubine if I was to wear a t-shirt and thong on the plane to and fro. And then Sai said, listen, there's nothing wrong with being a sugar baby. I was once before I was married. It is what it is. People... I'm like, these people are funny. And then after all that mess, Ubah shows up. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? Ain't that nothing? Ubah, you arrived at the right time. You ain't in nothing. Well, at least not yet, because they showed a preview of the season, child, and everybody got something to say about somebody. But yeah, that was Real Housewives of New York City, season 15, episode 1. Or you can call it the reboot, season 2, episode 1. Thanks again for tuning in, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll check you that later. Bye. RAERAES.